If you're watching closely, you can see clearly that there are reasons why all of these utility coin companies and a lot of other legacy system non-banking financial institutions are going heavy with two things: real world asset tokenization and custodying services, which is interesting because we read a document recently where they were talking about how banks want custodying services, but they don't necessarily want to do it themselves. They want third parties to be responsible, for lack of a better word. But this article here is very telling. Watch this, or rather listen to this. Almost half of Swiss banks planning tokenization initiatives. Almost half. Wait a minute. What happened earlier this year? Ripple, I think it was earlier this year, or maybe it was last year into this year, but Ripple is involved with Medico. Medico is a Swiss-based custodying service or company. Actually, Ripple bought Medico, right? Is that what happened? I know there was a few shakeups there. First, Medico was its own entity, and then I think Ripple purchased Medico outright, and there was a lot of shakeups in the leadership there. I believe that's what happened. But not only Medico in Switzerland, but don't forget they also have a relationship which we need to update on with BBVA. BBVA via their relationship with Medico. I'm not sure what's going on with that. We have to get an update. Like I said, I'm just going off the information that I know. Make sure you're doing your own research. But they had a relationship with BBVA in Switzerland, which may still be a solid relationship. I'm not sure. But let me read this little tidbit here. I just want to give you just a little bit about the BBVA. It says here, Ripple has formed a strategic alliance with Swiss banks. BBVA Switzerland announced a partnership with Ripple, leveraging Medico's harmonized platform to enhance its digital asset management capability. Like I said, this happened in 2021. I haven't heard much about it since that time. That doesn't mean that there's not information out there. So make sure you do your own research to see if this is still current. But here's the thing. That's not what's important to me. That's not the important part of that. What I'm trying to establish is Ripple is in Switzerland for a reason. They are involved with Medico for a reason. They knew that half of these Switzerland banks, they talk to them. They're sitting in meetings with banks all the time. They know that these banks, I mean, globally, you want to be real, but in Switzerland in particular, heavily want to be involved with the tokenization of real world assets. Trillions of dollars scaled into quadrillions at some point. Yeah, we keep hearing it, but it's true. This is what the article reads now, okay? So it begins here. 48% of Swiss banks are planning or already conducting tokenization use cases, according to a survey conducted by the University of St. Gallen, Mint Minds, and Vision And. The figure for embracing cryptocurrencies is far higher, at 64%. Let me read that again, and you tell me a golden age is coming. This is only Switzerland. Globally, many of the financial systems feel the same way. Listen, they need a lifeboat. They need a life preserver. They need more value. They need more security. They want more control, power, all of that across the board. DLT brings them. This is not a game, folks. And it's getting hot real quick if you're watching. Wait a minute. Let me read that one more time. The figure for embracing cryptocurrencies is far higher. This is coming from the banks. They're telling, they haven't embraced crypto 100% just yet, but they're telling you we're about to leap in. And when we leap in, there's going to be a splash. You know what that splash equals? That equals the possibility of one of the biggest bull runs of all time at some point in the future. When, I don't know. I just know the potentiality. This is what they're saying here. Once again, 64% beyond tokenization and crypto. 58% of the banks have plans for other quote unquote advanced blockchain use cases, such as trade finance, Zenfin. Remember what XDC does, trade finance, or settlement. Listen, once the flow begins at whatever that golden point is in the future, once that flow begins, it's not going to stop. They won't allow it to stop. They don't want it to stop. That consistent flow, consistent high value, high volume, whichever of these utility coin blockchains gets chosen, that price is going to go up and stay there. It's going to be a much, much, much higher low. The consensus amongst the 19 banks that took part in the survey is that the potential for blockchain will be achieved Here's a timeline. Here's another timeline. They're giving you a lot of information. So we just recently got 3 more timelines. If you were in the members only section for the last 2 months, you saw those timelines. Here's another one. So it says here that the potential for blockchain will be achieved in a 2 to 5 year time frame. There we go. So it's just like Christopher Waller said. He said we need more time. It's going to take time. Achieved in a 2 to 5 year time frame. So we had Christopher Waller say it's going to take time. We had a multitude of other major entities talk about a similar timeline, 2 to 3 years, 2 to 5 years. I know they said that long ago, but this is coming directly from some of these commercial banks now, not the central banks, not the governments who, this is coming from the commercial banks. All right. So now we're getting a little bit of information from different sources. This is what they're saying, folks. I can't change the info that they're putting out here. All right. 2 to 5 years. Sound familiar? It says with a higher impact beyond the 5-year mark. Higher impact. It says, however, beyond the 5-year mark, only 37% of bankers believe the impact of DLT will be significant, compared to 63% who view its importance as moderate. In the next 2 years, 11% of the banks believe the impact will be significant, which means what? They're telling you a lot in this article right here. They're dropping bombs. If this isn't bullish, I don't know what is. They're telling you in the next 2 years, if this happens, crypto, the utility aspect of crypto will go boom. Notice how I said this before. I'm going to keep highlighting it. Look how they're not saying blockchain anymore and trying to keep it really obtuse and amorphous. No, they're saying a clear-cut crypto, RWA, custodying services. They literally are saying crypto now. They're not backing down from it anymore. They're not running from it anymore. They're not pretending like they don't love crypto anymore. They're saying crypto now. These are the banks. Who's going to debate with them? Okay. Which means what could indicate what? That means that maybe, like I've been saying, they're getting ready to unleash crypto. It was always a game for them. It was always a strategy to downplay crypto so they could get in position. But now that they're getting in position, they're like, hey, listen, they're starting to give hints that they're bullish on it, that they love it, that they're going to use it. Right? As opposed to before, where to the public, they made it seem like, oh, we don't want crypto. We're not going to use crypto. It's the same way with the Fed. 1 minute, the Fed says they don't want CBDCs. They don't like crypto. Crypto is dangerous. Next minute, they're talking about they love blockchain, right? Now they're saying, oh, we love stablecoins. First, they love stablecoins. Then they didn't like stablecoins. Remember that in the beginning, when I first began this channel, they were saying they like stablecoins. Then, like a year later, year and a half later, all of a sudden, stablecoins were dangerous. Oh, they might be a risk. Now they're back to loving stablecoins. Did you see the article that came out from the Fed? And I can't remember which representative it is. Let me see if I have that here. Bear with me one moment. I just want to see. Treasury calls for Fed. Here it is. Okay. Stable coins can benefit financial system. Fed governor says, look how it's coming full circle. I think they jumped the gun at first. I think they thought they were going to be ready a little earlier than they actually are capable of being. And so they had to push everything back a little bit more, which they still haven't caught up, but they're in a good enough position now. They've done enough negotiating and enough beating down of crypto to where they're in position where they feel secure enough to deploy certain things in the next 2 to 5 years or such. I think that's what happened, but it's just my humble opinion, folks. But look how they're changing it. Why are the energies changing now? What's coming that's allowing them to be bullish on Bitcoin? They're bullish on XRP. They're bullish on Solana. There's a lot of big entities talking positive. Haven't we seen that in the last year? We've never seen this much positivity around crypto. They're even positive on Ethereum, even though the SEC has a problem with certain things on Ethereum, like consensus, etc. Which consensus, this is why it's relevant to us. Consensus was the CBDC aspect of the company that was building CBDCs on Ethereum, right? So that's why that I always knew about that. They were sort of a competitor in the beginning, but they had their ups and downs. But even with all of that, they're still bullish on Ethereum. Why now? Why now? BlackRock coming out and all these other big entities coming out. Oh, Bitcoin is bullish. Bitcoin is great. And then they just hint at other things. Oh, other things are going to go off too. What do you mean by that? Which other things? There's only a few top crypto, a few top legit crypto. Which other things are going to go off? Tell me that. BlackRock, Wisdom Tree, Valkyrie. You talking about XRP? You talking about Solana? Which one? Chainlink? Which of these top ones? Because no matter which one goes off, people like myself, we win. I have XRP, Solana, and Chainlink. All right? Right? Which one of these? See, they're hinting. They're telling the people. If the people just see what's right in front of them, what they're seeing is the rise of the sun, a golden age coming. I'm sorry. I should have read a little bit more. This article is very good. Once again, it's on Ledger Insights, all right? It's titled Almost Half of Swiss Banks Planning Tokenization, if you want to read the rest of it. So now let's move on here. We have a lot more news to cover today. This was another very good news day. All right, so we got a little XRP news. Should we do XRP news here? I feel like the first article was very utility coin based, and that includes XRP. It says here, why Ripple's next move could be its biggest yet for XRP. What are they talking about? What do you mean its next move? Ripple's legal battle with the SEC and macroeconomic conditions like interest rate hikes are shaping XRP's uncertain future. Uncertain. I mean, you could say the future is uncertain for anything in life right now, really. But if you want to look at the trajectory of XRP is upward. We've been winning along the way. We got a lot of big projects going on. We got a lot of big partnerships to come to be unleashed in the future, working with a lot of big entities. I mean, everything is positive. So let's not put a negative energy on that uncertainty. There's a positive energy on that uncertainty as of now. It has absolute clarity. Absolute clarity. The lawyer the other day just clarified that. I mean, things couldn't be more, but it's the build up, folks. It's the build up before the explosion. That's how it goes. That's just life. XRP has been a central topic in crypto for years that we know why XRP's future hangs in the balance. And then are they talking about the SEC again? Is that what they're talking about? Because it's not XRP's future in the balance. Ripple just has to get through their piece. There's a lot of other companies pushing XRP. SBI, what are they going to do about that? Volante, what are they going to do about that? You have countries that want to use XRP. So anyway, XRP is in the clear. Let's just be clear about that. So now let's go. Yeah, so they're just talking about, I don't see anything new that they're bringing here. Oh, overlooked forces driving XRP's next big breakout. Now, that's what I wanted to hear. Beyond legal battles and market sentiment, broader economic trends are playing a pivotal role in shaping XRP's future. Among these, one often overlooked factor is the global currency landscape. Ooh, all right. You sound like you're about to say something powerful, article writer. I'm expecting you to now. Don't get me excited now. Especially the weakening Japanese yen. Ooh, you know your stuff. Okay, let's go. The Japanese yen has hit a 7-year low against the US dollar, driven by softening inflation in the Bank of Japan's hesitation to raise interest rates. Historically, weaker currencies boost risk assets like cryptocurrencies. If this pattern holds, XRP and other digital currencies could benefit from a more favorable environment. Not only that, but article writer, you do know that Japan, multitude of banks and financial entities are interested in using XRP. You know that, right? That makes it bullish. So the failing of their financial system could be patched up and, congeal with, so they can strengthen themselves and move strongly into the future by DLT technology, by Ripple XRPL technology, by XRP, which makes it super bullish. So now it says, meanwhile, the U.S. economy is showing signs of relief. Inflationary pressures have started to ease. The Federal Reserve is slowing down its aggressive rate hikes. That's hilarious. Which may lead to more liquidity flowing into riskier assets like crypto. Although XRP's price has remained largely flat for 2024, these macroeconomic shifts could provide the tailwinds necessary for a price surge. We shall see. When that Bitcoin bull run starts, everything will go off. But that's not it. That's the thing, people. See, don't get me wrong. There's probably going to be big corrections. There's going to be massive profit taking. Know that. People are hungry out here and they're going to eat. But this will not be the last one. There is a utility run that's been building and building for years. And all the big companies are telling you is coming. After that utility run, unless it happens simultaneously with, after the utility run comes the RWA run. I mean, we will see. But I want a piece of that. I'm here for that bank money, but I'm telling you what, I want a piece of that RWA also. Most of that RWA is going to come from the companies. When they go berserk, we're in early. Before they are. We were in position before they were. They want to go berserk with RWA tokenization. I'm telling you, I'm going to feast on these companies. This is my humble opinion. This is how I feel. Especially those banks. Oh, we'll see how smart they are. We're going to see when the game really begins. We're going to see if they know how to play chess. We're going to see. Because I'm going to take a lot of that bank money. I'm telling you right now. This is not a game. I mean, it's sort of a game, but it's not a game. You get what I'm saying? Right. You're hip to the lingo, right? All right, so now, they go into the stablecoin stuff. I don't want to cover that too heavily right now. I don't want to waste any time. We're going to skip a Fed article. Wait, do I have 2 Fed articles? What in the world? Maybe I'll save that for the members only section. Save that for the members only section, folks. All right, let's get to a little bit of Bitcoin news. So now, Bitcoin price analysis sees rematch with 2021 record high versus S&P 500. Bitcoin getting even against U.S. stocks is a distinct possibility as a, quote, highly effective, unquote, Bitcoin price tool repeats a classic breakout signal. When Bitcoin goes berserk, it's really going to flip people's wigs, explode the blazers off their back. It's going to be insane. Just my humble opinion. I remember living through the 2021 bull run. Oh, Nick, you always reference it. Yeah, because it leaves an impact. Have you ever had something leave an impact on you? Have you ever had a great moment in life and you're just, oh man, and you just keep thinking about it? That's how that was. Now picture that, but just picture, you know what? I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to reference values here. Just picture a lot of value being made. I'm just going to say that. You wouldn't be thinking about that. Right. Well, watch what happens this time. I promise you, when this bull run goes off, not financial advice. I don't know what you have. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you hold. I don't know what you're going to sell. But watch, this bull run pops off and certain things that people have skyrocket. You're going to remember this forever. You're going to be reminiscing on it 3-4 years later. Like, man, I remember that bull run. Oh man, that was so good. It's going to bring good feelings to you. What do they call that? The hormone that comes down when you what is that called? My apologies, I can't remember it. There's a hormone that's produced when you feel good. It makes you feel euphoric. My apologies, I can't remember. Anyway, let's continue on here. Bitcoin is due to regain the spotlight as Bitcoin price gains catch up with United States equities. New analysis says. It says in his latest blog post on October 19th, Caleb Franzen, creator of financial resource Cubic Analytics, saw the potential for a major Bitcoin price breakout. Bitcoin needs to recover to match the recent performance of U.S. stocks as the S&P 500 notches repeat all-time highs. For Franzen, who compared Bitcoin USD to the Invesco S&P 500 equal weight ETF, the writing could well be on the wall. Quote, on a relative basis, Bitcoin failed to produce new all-time highs versus the equal weight S&P 500. In fact, Bitcoin /RSP was rejected precisely on the former all-time highs from 2021 and has been consolidating since then, which I've illustrated with a regression channel, unquote, he wrote alongside a corresponding chart. Bear with me one moment. I want to go up here. One moment. Bitcoin analysis 5 hours ago. Bitcoin price analysis sees rematch 5 hours ago. Okay. All right. Let's scroll down here. It says, quote, however, that BTC /RSP is starting to break above that regression channel. All right. Bitcoin starting to get fired up a little bit. Franzen thus saw an option for traders to go short RSP and long BTC next. Quote, based on this structure, the ongoing breakout implies a return to the blue zone, unquote. He continued, quote, to be clear, that blue zone is still valid potential resistance, but it's also a price target, unquote. All right, so we shall see, folks. I can't wait for it to pop off. We're watching a lot of good signs building up, a lot of good energies building up. It's like a rocket. I know it's cliche, but it's true. You watch a rocket and it starts to power up. You see the burst come out of it. Then you see the flame come out of it. And then there's like this thrust and then it takes off. So there's all these processes and the build up to the launch of the rocket. I don't think this is any different. When you're talking about momentum, I guess that's what we're really talking about at its essence. So now, let's move on here. I'm gonna skip a BlackRock article. Let's go here. I see that those money signs and the numbers get me excited. So I like to read those types of things there. So now, 3 signs Bitcoin's parabolic phase with a $250,000 target. Who's saying this? Is about to begin. Oh, okay. Somebody is really bullish on Bitcoin early. All right. They're not saying 2025. They're saying right now. Bitcoin whale accumulation, chart technicals, and declining stablecoin dominance hint at a Bitcoin price bull run ahead. This was released 9 hours ago. Bitcoin's price has climbed 55% so far in 2024, including 12.50% gains in October. Its recent increases have been fueled by an overall improving risk-on sentiment led by better than expected Wall Street earnings. Additionally, investors are increasingly pricing the potential Federal Reserve rate cuts in November. It says fundamentally, Bitcoin appears well positioned to enter a bull run for the remainder of 2024 and beyond. Meanwhile, certain technical and on-chain indicators suggest a similar upside outlook. The first signs of Bitcoin entering a new bull run come from its 2-month logarithmic chart with independent market analysts shared on X. The chart marks Bitcoin's historical bullish phases, such as the 60x increase from around 2011, a 20x increase in 2017, and a 6x increase during the 2020-2021 bull run. These phases follow a pattern in which Bitcoin's price first consolidates before a big, almost vertical rally occurs. Now that's what I like to hear. You know, they have all these terms for that, like a God candle, and then one was a Godzilla candle, and whatever. I just want to see that big green rise occur, and it's going to be a good time. As of October 2024, Bitcoin was exhibiting signs of breaking out of its prolonged consolidation phase. But speaking of Bitcoin, anybody know what's going on with Flare and them bringing smart contracts to Bitcoin? I believe they began testing the Bitcoin F assets on Coston Network some time ago, but I don't know what has been going on since that time. I got to look a little bit into it. But the interesting part about that is two things. Number one, you have the XRP that they were testing with the smart contracts or with F assets, however that works. Then they started testing the Bitcoin, both on the Coston network. Now, the Coston network for Flare is like their test network. It doesn't use real money. Next phase will be them to move all of that, whatever it is. How much is on there? How much value is on the Coston network? Anybody know? Or how many people? Anyway, how many wallets, I guess you would say. But all of that will move from that fake environment on the Coston to a real environment with real money on Songbird, the Canary network. Now, that's where we're going to really see what Flare is made of, because that's real money on Songbird. Songbird is a real blockchain. All right. So it has a lower circulating supply than Flare. But here's the thing about it. That's interesting. You see, they were saying they had this time period. They were going to have everything testing on the Coston network, like Bitcoin for smart contracts, of course, and yield and lending and all that stuff like that. Right. But the time period they have for testing all of that definitely has extended. It went from like this to this. Right. So now that everything's been on the Coston network for a very long time, from what I've seen, will it equally be on Songbird for that long? Right? I mean, that would be logical, right? If you had to have it on Coston for that long, you'd have to have it on Songbird for that long. Then if it's on Songbird for an extended period of time, like similar time period that has been on the Coston network, then how does it affect Songbird's price? Right? And then I would think that first of all, a lot of things going to remain, a piece of it's going to remain on Songbird, because you're always going to have dApps in development. So you're going to have an aspect always sitting on Songbird to develop, certain dApps and use cases or whatever. I mean, man, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on with Bitcoin. I know that I think Coinbase also has a smart contracts for Bitcoin. There's a lot of bullish stuff going on for Bitcoin, but it also affects those other chains as well. Songbird next, and then Flare, the big dog Flare. And people are ready for Flare to go off. So we shall see. We'll see, So now, anyway, back to the little bit of Bitcoin news. Let's close this out here. Bitcoin whale data shows pre-redacted rally behavior. Another bullish sign for Bitcoin comes from its on-chain data tracking whale activity on spot exchanges. The quote exchange whale ratio, represented by the 30-day moving average, currently mirrors patterns last observed in 2020. In that instance, whales aggressively accumulated Bitcoin, which preceded the massive bull run that took took Bitcoin to new all-time highs by the end of 2021. That would be lovely if that did occur. So now that you have the information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.